Hi Virgo, welcome back to the channel. It's me Anisa from the Inner Stereo. So today we're going to be looking at your love messages. It's a general reading, so the roles might get reversed or it may or may not resonate with you. And if it does, there's going to be a link down in the description box below for the extended and personal reading with me. So as usual, Virgo, this is going to be a you versus them format. We're going to be looking at your overall energy, challenges, past, present, future from both parties, and we're going to clarify them. And I'm also going to be pulling some advice card for you by the end of the session, okay? Now, in your overall energy, you have the Eight of Pentacles. What's challenging you is that you got the Ten of Wands. I feel like one of your biggest challenges here has a lot to do with you feeling as if like you are the only person who is carrying this relationship on your back. You're the only person who is doing the necessary work in order for this relationship to thrive. There's a sense of like, I'm being burdened, I am tired, I am drained. But if I'm not the one who does this, then who else is going to be doing it, okay? Now, in the past, they have the Nine of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. From your side, you have the Six of Pentacles, and you also have the Queen of Cups. You could be dealing here with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but I do feel that there is a lot of openness here when it comes to you in regards to your feeling to this connection. You feel that you have been always so emotionally vulnerable, so emotionally available, and try to be very understanding. There's something about you kind of like taking on a little bit of a mother figure when it comes to this relationship. And a mother figure is somebody who understands, somebody who empathizes, somebody who sometimes could be a bit quiet of an enabler, but we're going to clarify in a moment, okay? Now, from their side, they have the Nine of Wands and also the Page of Pentacles. You're dealing here with somebody, you could be dealing with an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but this person is somebody who always questions things, okay? If you're nice to me, why are you being so nice to me? Why are you being so understanding? Why are you being so welcoming? Like, why? You know, what is your intention? Do you have any motives behind it? Do you want something from me? Like, they always question your motives. Even if you were be showing to this person as an angel, they're like, no, you can't be that good. Like, what is this behind it? There's something about them having the difficulties to trust you. Now, from this person's side in the present moment, they have the Queen of Swords and also the King of Swords. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you're dealing with somebody who is having a lot of a hard time to open up their heart chakra to you because either one, they've been conditioned in the past through their childhood that, you know what, like I'm not supposed to be trusting somebody, but it's very hard, you know what I mean? Like, because they like to analyze things, they like to analyze their feelings. They feel that they are better off when were to be dealing with their own and etc. Now, from your side, you have the Seven of Swords and also the Two of Swords. Now you're also doubtful, but I don't feel that you guys are showing it to them because I do feel that, okay, like I mentioned in the beginning, right, there is a sense of you being drained. There's a sense of you being tired because you feel that you are the only person who has been working on this relationship. So there is a little bit of a silent withdrawal coming from you because now you're starting to doubt. Now you're starting to wonder if this has been a good decision after all. Now, in the future, from this person's side, they got the Six of Cups and the Justice. From your side, you got the Ten of Swords, and you also have the Devil. There's something here about them, again, like every time there's a shred bit of emotions that they feel towards you. Especially, I do feel that this is somebody that they've had a really great fond memories of you. There's always a part of them who then, so it's not somebody who's going to be showing up 100% to a relationship and be like screaming at top of the world like, God, I fucking love you to the bone. You know what I mean? Like in Indonesia, we call it like dicintai secara, mencintai secara ugal-ugalan, meaning that you love somebody so brutally. I don't feel that this is somebody who's doing that because they always need to protect themselves. Now, in the future, you got the Ten of Swords and you also have the Devil. You just don't feel quite right about it because you feel that you have been, especially in the past, loving this person brutally, and you just don't feel that this person is reciprocating that. This person isn't really meeting you halfway. So now let's clarify the reading here, Virgo. I want to clarify the King of Swords and the Seven of Swords. You could be dealing with a Capricorn here also. or a Libra. Let's see. Clarify the King of Swords and the Seven of Swords. Devil. Three of Cups, King of Pentacles. Let's see from you. See, you got the Seven of Pentacles sideways, and me, personally, I do sideways reading, not just reversal and upright position. But there is a sense of like, I'm not really sure if this is something that I want to be in the long run. I have been waiting, but I don't know how many more could I wait for things to turn around, because there is a big question here from you on your mind in regards to those connections, and you're done dealing with that, basically. Now, from this person's side, King of Swords, clarified by the Devil, the Three of Cups, and also the King of Pentacles. I do feel that this person at this present moment is being heavily focused on themselves. This is somebody who is going to be a really great acquaintance, somebody who is going to be a really great colleague, somebody to, hang out with, have fun with. But there is that hesitancies, there's that big gigantic wall around them that is so hard to get into. Let's clarify the Queen of Swords and the Two of Swords. Now, if you are the type of person who likes to have a relationship that is more of like a best friend together in a relationship, this could be the person for you. However, if you are the type, if you have more water in your chart, in your moon or in your Venus sign, then this is quite hard because you're looking for depth, and it's something that this person is avoiding. So Queen of Swords, clarified by the Nine of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Seven of Wands. Ooh, ugh. And now from you, Two of Swords, clarified by the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. Again, that Ten of Wands shows up. You're tired. You're carrying everything on your shoulder. You have a lot of ideas like, look, I want to do this. Like, maybe if I do this, things are going to come around. If I do this, things are actually going to be changing. But, like, every time you do them, it's being met by disappointment after disappointment because things aren't turning around the way that you wanted it to be. So eventually you guys are getting tired, and eventually you start questioning this relationship. Now, from this person's side, you'd be dealing with an avoidant here, to be honest with you, because avoidant that is using their avoidance to mask their trust issues. Because with the Ten of Wands here, there is a tendency of them not really wanting to allow another person to get into, their heart space because they're afraid of getting hurt. Thus, they keep pushing people away, analyzing emotions, judging, thinking that this isn't going to be the one for me, and etc., in order to protect them. So, the thing is, this person at this present moment isn't really seeing the effort and the sacrifices that you guys have put into this relationship. There is a deniability. There is a denial here that it isn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like, they're not really seeing your effort. And I feel that as a Virgo, that is something that is profoundly hurtful for you, because I have Virgo best friends, and the way in which she shows her love to me or to other people is in their small little things, the small sacrifices that is not being shouted, publicly, but you could see. Now, when you do that to another person who appreciate you for who you are and appreciate everything that you've done for them, you thrive. You like it. You feel appreciated. You feel useful. You feel valued. Now, this person has a tendency to not see that the tiny little bit of effort, the tiny little bit of sacrifices that you've been giving to them, and that hurts you, and that makes you feel quite tired. Let's clarify the future. Now I'm clarify the Six of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Resentment. Resentment. There has been a lot of little things, you know what I mean? Like, what I noticed with Virgo is it's all in the little things. And with you, there has been so many little disrespect, little annoyance, little feeling of being not appreciated, little feeling of feeling that, wow, you think so lowly of me, something like that. There's that little thing, you know what I mean? The little thing just keeps on adding and adding and adding to a point where it just hits you all together, to a point where you're going to have a little bit of a realization there, an epiphany in the future with that Ace of Swords. But would you actually communicate this to this person? I don't think so, because you have the Seven of Swords right here. In order for this person, because you see this King of Swords, he's holding that book right close to him. It's the little thing that I said, the little disrespect, the little fault, the little mistakes, the little things that they did that hurt you, and etc. And just keep on piling up, Especially with the Emperor, you feel that this person is being very selfish. You feel that this person wants their feelings to be acknowledged, wants their, like, you kind of like dance around this person's emotions, but they don't consider you. So there is a lack of consideration here that you're also putting into that journal or that little book of yours. And still, even though, like I mentioned, this person has a very great fond memories of you, they feel that their inner child is being seen by you, but you will always find what you're looking for, you know what I mean? In a way that if you are in the mindset that anybody cannot be trusted, so you're going to be walking into the world and you start wanting to find why people shouldn't be trusted, and that's what you're going to see. And this person isn't so different after all, because again, they like themselves. They feel that they are hyper independent. They feel that only if they were to be relying on themselves will they not get hurt. Now let's clarify the Justice and the Devil. Queen of Wands in reverse. This shows up in Gemini reading too, so you could be dealing with a Gemini. Devil clarified by the Knight of Cups, the World, and also the Ten of Swords. Yeah, it's that acceptance. I feel that you guys in the future are going to have that accepting. Things are going to come to full circle to a point where you don't need clarity, you don't need closure, you don't need confirmation from this person, because all of that little thing that I mentioned earlier piles up to a point where you're able to conclude things on your own. Now, Justice clarified by the Queen of Wands in reverse, the Six of Wands, and the Fool. So inconsiderate, yeah? So they come to you whenever they needed something to make them feel good about themselves. It's either validations or attention. But it's very, yeah, this person, you could be dealing with a very, very avoidant person who believe that, it's all about me. If I were to be relying on myself, I'm not going to get hurt. If I'm not connecting emotionally to another person, I'm not going to get hurt. If I'm not exposing myself, if I'm not being vulnerable, if I don't need anybody, I'm not going to get hurt, because nobody's going to reject me. Nobody's going to betray me. Nobody's going to hurt me. Nobody's going to be disrespecting me, stuff like that. So they're very hyper independent. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this to the extended Virgo. We're going to be clarifying a whole lot. Now let's get into your advice section. You make me think. Ace of Swords, the Magician, and also the Eight of Cups. Yep. I think you don't need the advice, because this is basically what you guys are going to be doing in the future anyway, where instead of focusing on multiple informations that you have had, because two contradicting things could exist at the same time. They could love you and they could still hurt you. And I feel that you have always been torn about, but I don't like to believe this side of them, because this side of them is like this, you know what I mean? Like, you have a little bit of a difficulties in combining and also making a conclusion out of this multiple information that you have about this person, where I feel that in the future, you guys are going to be realizing that multiple contradicting things could exist. But eventually it's going to be you who's going to be deciding, what is going to be what is going to be in it for me. Yeah. You could revisit, you could come back, you could, being nostalgic and stare at those cups that you have, you know, experience it being empty and not so fulfilling. So for no matter how many times that you want in your life, but eventually that conclusion needs to come. All right. So I think that is it from reading for you here, Virgo. I hope that you find tons and tons of clarity that you guys been looking for, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Have a great day, guys. I love you.